Hello, welcome. I hope today you have a nice cup of tea or coffee. Even though the weather's getting warmer, you may have a cold drink. Let me know what's in your mug today. As always, I'm turning up with a mug of coffee because I just absolutely love it, and that is my absolute go-to. So, before we dive in anymore, I'm just going to share with you guys I've just tried to record this episode already, and then I realized that I didn't even have the microphone on or near me. So we're trying this again. But that kind of leads us into today's conversation as well. So, praise God, everything that we do lines up perfectly, even when we don't always see it in the moment. And our decisions or lack of awareness to our decisions have an impact, whether we're aware of it right now or we see it later on down the line. But that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So grab your cup. I don't know if you have a notepad and pen with you, but you may need it for this one. We're going to dive deep. Let's go. So, hello, welcome to Fostering Kingdoms. I am your host, Jess. I am the founder and CEO of Fostering Kingdoms, where we put faith back into the heart of fostering. Our mission here is to encourage, support, and empower foster carers to trust into God, into the plans that He has for them, and to be better carers to build long-term sustainability. And we do that through our 3-part framework, and you can find more information for that in the description below, or go to fosteringkingdoms.com/framework. But let's dive into today's video, and I want to share with you guys. And I was spending some time with God as I'm hanging out my laundry, and I was just thinking, God, what is it that needs to be shared? And what is it that you need me to be more aware of? And what are the things kind of going on? And I just really heard God say, like, what are the decisions that you're making? And I just had to pause for that for a moment. And I thought, that's such a huge, bold smack in the face. What are the decisions that you're making? And I had to really think about that for a moment. And I thought, well, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. But then I heard, slow down in your decisions. What are the decisions that you're making? And I had to spend some time in journal and just reflecting over this. And it made me think as well, bringing it to you here, listening, what are the decisions that you're making? And there was so much to unpick from this one thing. And we can very easily go through our day-to-day life not really recognizing the importance of every single decision that we make. We start to live life on autopilot. But when we take a moment and reflect back, we can always find a time in our life where we think, yeah, that decision led me to where I am today. That decision led me away from my goals. That decision pivoted my life. That decision led me wherever it may be. But it can be very easy to slip into moments of big decisions, recognizing these big life-changing decisions that we make. But God was telling me, slow down. What are you doing in the day to day? What are the decisions that you're making in the small things? Because we don't always recognize that those small decisions have a huge impact when they're stacked up over time. And God was calling me to just recognizing what are the decisions that we make in our day-to-day lives as foster carers. We can so easily just dismiss things, put everybody else first. But God was saying, what are the decisions that you are making for you? What are the things that you are choosing to do? And it's having that awareness, are you just living your life just on autopilot, just living in this place of subconscious, just trying to get through each and every day, trying to make it out to the end of the day where you can sit down, put the TV on, and just have a moment? Or are you actually being intentional in the small moments? Because they do compound over time, and they lead us to places and things that we either want to get to or things that we don't want to get to. And I want to just pull this back into scripture. And this is where God has really been bringing me lately. And I've been reading Proverbs. And I want to share Proverbs 16:9. It says, "In their hearts, human plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." And I spent some time thinking about that. And I thought, well, yeah, we as humans, we do try to make these decisions, whether they're decisions that we make today or the bigger decisions that impact our lives later on down the line, like taking a job, not taking a job, moving home, not moving home. So we try to plan out our course. We try to plan and navigate the small things, but God establishes the steps. And when God is in everything that we do, that leads us to where He wants us to be. That leads us into the promised land. He will establish every single step along the way. And when you look at that in terms of the small decision making, they're daily steps. They're the small things that get you through. It's not always going to be that big, huge pivot. But we have the opportunity and the chance to plan our days. You're either going to do this subconsciously or you're going to make conscious choices. And both are going to lead you to different places. And when I spent some time just thinking about, well, what does that actually look like in our day to day? What are the decisions that we're making? And what kept coming through for me was things like, are you waking up early or are you deciding to hit the snooze button? And I'm guilty of this. This morning, my alarm went off and I thought, I'm not ready. I hit snooze, I changed my alarm. And I actually woke up this morning with all of the left side of my body like really stiff, really hurting. But I made that choice to hit the snooze button and there was a consequence from that. I'm now sore and stiff. And I think we don't always recognize that in every decision that we make, there's going to be a consequence, whether that's an immediate, like waking up with a stiff neck, or it's going to be a consequence later on down the line. So, what are the things that you're doing today? And look at this on a micro level into your day. Are you consciously taking control over the plans of your day, or are you just letting things go? So, for example, just getting up, making breakfast, getting into that routine of things. Are you getting up and having a breakfast that sets you up for the day? Are you on a diet and you're eating something healthy that sets you up for the day? Or have you reverted back into old ways of doing things? Are you having a waffle for breakfast? Are you having eggs for breakfast? What are the things that you're doing consciously to help you to get to where it is that you want to be? Are you getting up in the morning, making your bed, moving your body, spending time with the Lord? Or are you waking up first thing in the morning when the kids have woke you up, everybody's rushing around, everybody's late, everything feels chaotic from the moment you wake up? Is the first thing that you're doing looking at your phone, immediately flooding your system with dopamine? Or are you allowing yourself to gradually wake up and feel refreshed and renewed and stepping into that day? I share with everybody that my normal daily routine is I wake up before the children, I have time to read the Bible, I have time to have coffee. And even though I still had time to do those things this morning, I made a decision to wake up, I think it was like 20 minutes later than what I normally would do. And that had a knock-on effect to the rest of my day. So when we can recognize that our decisions have such an impact, whether we just think, oh, that's just a small thing, it's fine, it has an impact down the line. And in terms of fostering, we don't always make decisions for us. We also have to think about other people in our homes, and there's more complexities to it. But God just kept saying to me, what are your decisions? And I feel like this is so important because not very often does somebody say to you, what are you choosing to do? How are you putting yourself first? How are you spending your time? What are you investing your time and resources in? How are you making decisions that will benefit you in years to come? What are you doing today that's going to help you build on your long-term sustainability? These are the questions that are not asked on supervision. These are the questions that, if ever, somebody even asks you. Sometimes it can feel like we are non-existent or secondary in our own homes, in our own lives, in our own stories. But yet God is saying, what are the decisions that you are making? What are you doing for you to get you from where you are today to where you want to be down the line? And that's going to look different for everybody. We're all going to have different goals. We're all going to have different callings. But ultimately, we all get to make decisions today. And these decisions will have a ripple impact. Whether you decide to take on a child, or whether you're in a position where you say, I can't do this anymore, or you're in a place where you're on the edge thinking about moving into fostering, or you're at the verge of saying, I can't do this at all, I'm closing my door. We don't want that last one. Here at Fostering Kingdoms, we have our sustainable fostering framework, which helps carers, wherever they are on their journey, build towards long-term sustainability. And if you want more information on that, you can check it out at fosteringkingdoms.com/framework. Highly recommend you go through this framework in your own time. And you also get a certificate of completion that can go towards your mandatory training. But every decision that you make leads you to a new destination. So if you choose today, do you know what? I am all in. I need to anchor myself in. I am going in on my God-led calling to foster. I want to bring God back into everything that I do. Go through the framework. See where God is leading you. And if you choose today, do you know what? I'm not quite ready yet. You're only going to be delaying the things that God is calling you into. And know that every decision that you make today has a huge ripple impact. Couldn't get that out, took me 3 times, but we got there. Everything that you do, it ripples out. And that goes for subscribing to this channel, liking our video, sharing it with a fellow foster carer today who may need some awareness into the decisions that they are making, or decisions that they feel like they're not ready to make yet. Whether they feel like they're making their decisions or not making decisions, you are ultimately choosing your destination. You are choosing your future. And whether it's one that you are actively working towards or something that you're trying to put off, every decision will lead you somewhere. And you can either make the decision today to lead yourself to where you want to go, to walk with God, let Him establish every step, move boldly with your decision making, move like you know whose child you are. Or you're going to make decisions based on fear, based on anxieties, and based on shrinking yourself down, not allowing yourself to truly trust into God's plans that He has for your life. Every decision has a ripple impact. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And if you're not ready to leave yet and you want more of this, and like me, you still got some coffee in your mug and you want to hang out some more, I will catch you on the next episode.